Pistons fans, it's time to talk about the topic, right? It's been all over the place. I'm seeing all type of stuff on social media, on main media, podcasts left and right. It's just everywhere. Well, it's time that I talk about it. Detroit Pistons, one of the teams tied to Anthony Davis as far as trade entrants. Probably the top team mentioned with Anthony Davis right now. Do I want Anthony Davis here in Detroit as a Detroit Piston for the right price? And that's the biggest fear that I have. Let's talk about it.
Out of bounds, Detroit basketball.
Anthony Latrell Aloysius Raul Davis. I just made all of that up. Do I want him here as a Detroit Piston? It probably would be fun to see it. It's Anthony Davis, right? But then reality sits in real fast with me. One of the lone voices before, when we had Stan Van Gundy around here, that said I did not want Blake Griffin here as a Detroit Piston. And a lot of people looked at me crazy. And a lot of people came for me after he came and, he had those games. It was a 50-something point game against Philly, I believe it was. And they was like, King, see, you crazy, this, that, you know what you're talking about. And none of those reasons were the reason that I said no to Blake Griffin. But when we needed him the most, where was he? Injured. Anthony Davis is full of softness. I just, some of the injuries when he gets the injury, sometimes it's just like, in my mind, I'm like, how did you get injured from that? And I'm not saying it like he's only playing 10 games a season. Let's be real. He played, he had probably was like 2 seasons ago, I believe, or he played like 76 games or something. But he's had some issues as of late again with injuries. He's nursing a calf injury right now. But he has a history of injuries. And the only time that I really seen him play, and I can't even say it matters, it was the fake championship during the bubble. Yeah, I'm still not giving that credit. Nobody gets credit during the bubble, during the pandemic. That was nobody played that season. It was phony. But I mean, some people just want to see it because it's Anthony Davis. Some people just like to see trades in general because of the names. Fine. I'm fine with that. If you trade for Anthony Davis, I'm fine for that. But who are you giving up? That's my problem. You see what I'm saying? If you think about packaging up a Tobias Harris, who probably is playing better than Anthony Davis right now, maybe. I need to look into that. But if it's a Tobias Harris and some Karis LeVert and some picks and, maybe a Sasser or something, I'm good. But I'm not giving you no parts of my core or the real parts of my depth. That's not happening. Not for Anthony Davis. There's other players available out there that have shown historically over the years to be available. This has nothing to do with Anthony Davis as a player. This is his availability. We don't have time for you nursing little ankle injuries and your calf hurting and these little soft ass injuries that just be keeping you out of games. We don't have time for that right now, bro. We need guys that's going to tough it out and be available and get on that court. And I'm just not sure he can do that. Me personally, I would settle for something a little bit lesser and a little bit cheaper than $54 million a year. You know what I'm saying? And somebody like Trey Murphy, you know what I'm saying? Half the price, half the age. I would rather do that. But Anthony Davis is the guy. He's the guy that's tied to the Detroit Pistons right now. Me personally, why Trajan Langdon is entertaining that, if it's 100% true, I have no clue. I just don't want to make that same mistake again. Why is it that we always have to get players here in Detroit that are, one, older, two, having injury issues? It's the same scenario over and over and over. And I'm tired of it, bro. I was tired of it during the Blake Griffin era. I was yelling about that the entire time. We need somebody that's going to be available for us throughout the season. That's into the playoffs too, where it matters. We're trying to make some noise. And is Anthony Davis the pick that he's the guy that you hanging your hat on? You know what I'm saying? And saying he's going to be the one to take us to the finals. Anthony Davis is that guy. That's what you're telling me. That you trust his injury history enough for him to be that. These are all my questions. These are the questions that I have. You may not feel the same way. That's fine. But, bro, like I say, as you get older, especially in that league, it doesn't get better. You don't just have some spur of healthiness that just happens out of nowhere for the rest of your career. It don't work like that. Usually it gets worse. Injuries start to pile up. That's historical. That's factual. So I don't know. Y'all want to pay that amount of money for somebody to come in here and not be available? You know what I'm saying? You going to games with your Anthony Davis jersey on and he's sitting on the bench in some street clothes? Fine. That's up to you. But I'd rather shoot my shot elsewhere. That's me personally. That is me personally. That's all I got to say about it, bro. I'm not trying to assassinate his character. I'm not trying to assassinate his skill set. I'm just pointing out the glaring fact that this man has injury issues. I don't get the twinkle in my eye like the fans do. That ain't what I'm here in front of this camera for. I don't get that. The excitement of just hearing the name that he's traded to the Pistons. Oh, it's a big name. I don't get that. I'm serious about my team winning, bro. Winning it all. And putting themselves in the best positions possible. Not only to push for it right now while this window is wide open, but still have some sustainability to be good for a while. Because the Eastern Conference, some of these teams, I will argue with you, are going to be even worse next year. Because some of these teams are going to figure out that they have to tear some stuff down. There's no reason to hit the rush button. There's no reason to do that. And that could lead to doom. Ask Stan Van Gundy. So, I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And if you're not for Anthony Davis, if you like somebody like Trey Murphy, like I just mentioned, if you like somebody else, drop the name in the comment section. I'm interested to hear you guys' voice. But this topic is very annoying. And I just had to speak on it, man. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.